going on, guys? McLovin, Tyler, Ben. If Ben's here, I guess Prada's here somewhere. Caught. Another week. I wanted to see if I can make the font bigger on here. Look at that. It's much easier to read on there. So most of you already know from being in the Discord, but if there's, I don't think there's anybody here that's not in there yet, but if anyone watches this later, or anyone who isn't in the Discord, did some damage to the accounts on Friday after the stream. We were the main cause on Friday, and what I was putting the blame on before I looked inward to figure out the true cause was I had those two Apex accounts, those two evaluation accounts that we got to 60. I was $60 away from passing them. So because I was only $60 away from passing them, I jumped into a trade, just my old ways from a long time ago before I could read the market, guessing where the market was about to go so I could just capture those 3 points. That's all we needed, was 3 points. Of course, that doesn't work, and we started taking red trades and going from 3 points away from passing to red trade, and just downhill quick because of my impulsiveness. We ended up blowing those two accounts. I was $60 away. But that's what I was saying was the goal, those profit goals mess with me really bad. But had we passed them, something like this was bound to happen because I keep focusing too much on the money versus just focusing on the right, Tyler, I know you kind of did the same thing, but I keep focusing on the money, and all I have to do is pick good setups, and then the money will come. That's it. But I saw $60. I'm on minis. I only need 3 points. Surely anyone could just click buy or sell and get 3 points, right? Well, did not work out. So those two accounts blew quickly. I also did damage to my actual funded because they were all linked, which I shouldn't have had them. There was no need to have them linked when I'm about to pass those. Like, just get those passed and leave the funded alone. The funded went from I think I was like $1,200 in profit, so I only needed $300 more to go to be able to withdraw, or at least at that limit. And I went all the way back to, I have $100 in drawdown left on that account. I paid a lifetime fee on that. That really sucks. So I am going to do my best. Right now I'm leaving it alone. So I have it. I mean, there's no rush on it. It's paid for. I have it forever as long as I can keep it alive. I'm going to have to go down to 1 micro and just grind it. There's no doubt that I can't do it as long as I keep my motions where they need to be. We also did some damage to my... Oh, congratulations, Wayne. That's awesome. That's exciting. Just do whatever you did to pass, and it's no different, and you should be good. We also did damage to my AMP account. Don't even want to talk about how much I lost on that. But it's enough that we need to be trading micros. Also did damage on my TopStep account. I was at $4,500 in profit on that. I went back down to like $3,000 in profit. I did take a trade last night, Sunday evening, and got back to like $4,500 in profit. So with all of that said, I did learn some new things this time, as I typically try to take something away from each time I have a bad day. One thing is, I'm just going to trade my AMP today. I'm not going to touch anything else. Right, Tyler? We're trying. You can give us some credit. We kind of know what we're doing. So I'm only going to take a trade on my AMP account. I'm going to be very selective. And then Tyler here helped me figure out how to get TradingView to automatically change my contract size, because do we have enough time to talk about this? We got 7 minutes to open. So one thing I've always struggled with is I think too much about the money, and every day when I go into the market, I don't know how much I could make, because I might get a really nice setup that shows I might make 20 points at my target, or a setup could form where I might make 40, 60, 80 points if I hold to my target. And that uncertainty every day makes me chase trades. It makes me get out of trades too early. It makes me hold on to trades too long. For instance, if I have a 50-point winner one day and the next day the market's just not moving that much and it gives me a trade that's 20 points, that 20-point target is where I need to get out because that's my high probability exit. However, I might be a little greedy because I just got 50 points the day before, and I might try to hold it for 50 even though there's no need to. And that's between, I mean, if you're on a mini, that's between a $400 day and a $1,000 day. That's a pretty big difference, and I don't know. And then the flip side of that is the risk every day is different. So if I have a 50-point risk one day and it just doesn't work out that day because of probability, nothing on me, I took a setup that's $1,000 loss, and now the next couple days the market might not be moving as much, and I might be only risking 20, aiming for 20 points, and it's going to take me several days to grind that back, just based on market movement. So I thought of, why don't I just risk the same exact amount of money on every single trade? That way no trade can ever be too large. So even if I take a massive trade or a little trade, it's going to be the same exact amount of money, because I'm just looking for high quality setups to give me X amount of dollars. And if it's the same every time, there's no chasing. Like, I have to hold to my target in order to get that same amount of dollars, and I have to keep my stop there to risk the same amount of dollars every single day. So then to answer Tyler's questions about, I was thinking, I'm going to have to create a spreadsheet, and every time I'm about to get into a trade, I need to figure out how many contracts I can use to make X amount of dollars for X amount of points. However, Tyler told me about using the long and short positions. You can throw them on the board, and then if you right click, if we go to settings, so I just put in, because I kept falling on this $200 number. So I just put $2,000 in here for my account size, and then 10%. That way it always risks $200 no matter how many points this is, and it will adjust my contract size to fit that. So if I put this up here, so we're risking, let's just put it at like, I don't know, 40 points. If we right click and do create limit order, it's going to want 2 micros to risk for $200, or it will get as close to 200 as it can. Obviously with $2 per contract, it's going to have to, round down so we don't go over that $200. But if we then want to risk, say, 15 points, right click a new create limit order, now it's only going to do 6, or now it will do 6 to get close to that $200 limit. So that's what we'll do. Wait for setups, throw one of these bad boys on there, right click, create an order. That way it's the same amount of money every single time. And I mainly want to shoot for one-to-one setups. So always risking close to 200 with the reward of close to 200. But there's a potential that maybe we aim a little further just based on the setup that I see and the market conditions. So shout out to Tyler for helping me get that. So I think if it's the same amount of money every time, that's going to help my emotions and not chasing the money, because every setup is the same. There's no need to hold longer. I need to just hold to my target, get the same amount of money that I've been aiming for over time. Then we can start letting runners run and or just risking more. So instead of doing $200 every trade, we'll do $220 or $250, and then $300, then $400, then $10,000. So that's the plan today. Also going to try to be pretty patient on good setups. We're about to open here soon. So looking at a 5 hour, it looks like higher time frames. We've got lots of equal highs right here. Buy side breaker. So now it's going to allow me to enter much bigger setups as well. If I feel very confident on this breaker on a 1 hour, I can enter that in. It's probably scale it down to like one contract, which is fine. And then, yeah, I will be trying to heavily focus on high quality setups and nothing more, nothing less. This is a 1 hour breaker. Equal highs, buy side. So my trade last night on TopStep, I shorted up in a fair value gap somewhere up here, aiming for like this gap and maybe a little lower. I got into 3 minis and took like 1400 before I went to bed. I was tired. I took it out at like here. However, I had exits all the way down here, and of course we end up hitting all that. My stop was above the highs. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but probably shouldn't have traded on a Sunday evening to begin with. I need to be doing what I'm doing here over on that account as well. That way I'm not rewarding bad habits, because honestly, that's what I've been doing with all of these extra accounts. I had them so I could go over there and do bad trades. Then it gets to me, and it carried over to everything else. Yeah, I before I went to bed, I exited everything. Although it wouldn't have been a bad idea. I'd be in profit if all those buy stops got hit. So TopStep, I think, is around 4,500-ish in profit. So we're halfway, not bad for 8 days in. But I am going to allow myself to be a little riskier on that account, because I got it for free and I'm not willing to pay if we don't pass it. So I have to pass it by the next billing cycle, or I need to pass it or just cancel it. So that means if we get close and we're not there, we're YOLOing. Ideally, we trade up into this breaker somewhere, create a high, low, higher, high, displacement down, get in. Did you guys just get some like buffering or anything? Because YouTube was saying not receiving enough data for this stream. Oh, that was back at like 9. No? I don't know. Right around the halfway. Okay. Thanks. Forgot to start looking at the weekly and the daily. I did a little bit last night. I think we favor still this rollover. Just we have all this displacement on the weekly. Last week we filled in that fair value gap and had a very strong reaction right into this fair value gap on the daily. But so far it's looking pretty bullish. Also going to attempt to get back to being okay with stopping if we don't have anything. Friday we sat there and watched that whole move, that grind down after news, and the entry for that move was prior to the news. I wasn't willing to risk it. And then we had that slow grind down, and there was nothing there. And I remember even saying I don't have to take anything because I don't really like this. But my patience got to me, and I ended up taking something for no reason. That, along with getting so close to passing those evaluations, is I think that's what set me off. I don't know if anyone else uses TradingView, but every time you move like a drawing or change I think if you change time frames, and then up here it says save, so you can save your current progress. I'm like OCD with having to click that whenever it's there. It's a pretty strong reaction after filling that gap in. We'll see if it continues. Another thing I noticed that I wasn't doing was when we'd have displacement, I would enter on the retest, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. However, I wasn't requiring a short-term swing to be taken out with the displacement, which is going to be much higher probability. That one's a tough one because I always think it's okay to risk that, but if we can eliminate some lower probability trades, then that should be better. Anybody catch this move moving up? I wasn't really expecting it to go that high. I think that's a good sign when we have some displacement down and then it shoots up like that. going on, Eric? Yep, that's I'm assuming that 15-minute fair value gap that I marked out right there. Yep, the 13th. Got a nice reaction off of it. Like that, it's like a little teeny tiny fair value gap in there. But I just said I need to be making sure that when that forms, we take out a swing, and there was no swing taken out. So that's why I passed that up. So now I'm curious to kind of see how we react on this, all this displacement that we just moved on the upside. Tapped that 50% level. Damn. I also did not check if we had any news today. Kind of woke up pretty tired today, so I feel like I'm just, after a rough day on Friday, just forgetting some things. Some Fed talks at 10:30. I don't know if that will change anything. I don't know if he'll move the markets or not. As I'm speaking at 10:30 and 4:30. There's Alito. Very nice. Had I not just said that I was waiting for swings to be taken out, I probably would have taken that, but there's and I haven't been paying attention to the 30-second either. Damn it. I don't think that, I'm really trying to wait for moves to come back to the 50%. It came close. I assume you guys were looking at this. Oh, let's take it easy, make love. And I'm right there with you. I think I'm down a little more than that, but I am thinking about this right here. If we come into this fair value gap from the opening, just put the stop down there. At least aim for a 1-to-1, maybe a little more. Yeah, I got into some crap trades after the stream on Friday. I think on the stream is when I was $60 away from passing those accounts, and I took a red trade backwards. And that did not sit well with me. Ideally, from this entry, we would aim for the highs. But don't think we're doing that. It does work. Now we'll see if this trade works. Oh yeah, one of the worst things is going into the weekend with a red day, and not even just a red day, just going in knowing that you broke all your rules. Now you feel like you can't do this. You just extended the time before you are going to feel like you've made it in trading. That's what I dealt with all weekend. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was just like depressed. I want to sit around and play video games all weekend and not think about it. This entry would be OTE to aim for those highs, but I'm not confident enough in that we're going to go up there. Yeah, you got to wait all weekend. You got to wait for Monday, and then you got anxiety Monday morning thinking like, what if I do it again? What if I have a red day again? We had plans to hang out with people on Saturday, and they did end up getting canceled, not from us, but from my perspective, I was like, I don't even want to see anybody this weekend. Some people know I trade, and I don't want anyone to talk about it. I don't want anyone to ask how I'm doing. I just had a really bad day Friday when I felt very confident the last couple weeks, or a couple months actually. A couple months I felt really good, and then Friday was like, what am I doing? I have to get that under control, or we're never going to do this. We stuck here on YouTube doing evaluation accounts like everyone else. I think we can at least aim for this order block, maybe. Yeah, I need to just leave it there. See what happens. I start thinking that I'm getting greedy. Right, I start getting greedy and then thinking about how to manage the trade when this was my entry. I said I was going to aim for about 1-to-1s. There you go, Delta. What part of the I'm assuming you're in the US. What you don't have to tell me the exact area, but I'm in like the Appalachian Mountains. It's absolutely perfect here right now. Leaves are falling. Nice and chilly. Leaves are changing. These chats might be a little too big. I like New England. I'm in East Tennessee, Wayne. I'm just a few miles from Virginia, a few miles from North Carolina. Hayesville, North Carolina. I don't know if I've heard of that. Oh, okay. I go over to that part of, I go near Franklin quite often. And I have family in that side of Georgia as well. Right? Pumpkin spice everywhere. Yeah, I think that's a good target for this to go back up into at least this fair value gap, but who knows where we go after that. It's on the 2 minute, 3 minute, we tested that one a little bit. We'll see what the market wants to do. No, I did move my take profit. My 1-to-1 would have been hit. Why did I move it? Guys, why did I move it? I said I was going to aim for 1-to-1s. Tyler, I hope you don't want to see that right now while I'm in a long. That's just rude. That's very rude. Ideally, go higher before we go lower again. Not new highs, but at least like up into this order block. Or into this fair value gap on the 2 minute. It hasn't even been touched yet. More important than bros before hoes. You can support a opposite position as long as it's before my stop. No, I'm just taking it. I can't deal with that today. I cannot deal with that today. Jesus. Okay, we got hit, but I moved my, okay, first of all, I moved my profit. You know, I said 1-to-1 and then I move it as soon as we get in. That's a mistake on me because we would have been out back here. And then I leave it and then the market's going to come up and get right before it. No, I can't deal with that today. Wonder where that was. Where did we get that pullback at? Oh, where my thing was at 20, right? And that candle right there went to 19.6, one tick away. Jesus Christ. And here is I'm perfectly fine with this. This is exactly what I said I was going to start doing today. Focus on 1-to-1s. Let TradingView give me how many contracts I need, so that way my money is the same on every single trade, no matter what the move is. And but it's nice seeing that this OTE worked out, or it looks like it's working out, where we could have aimed for higher high, not higher highs, but closer to the highs, at least up into like one of these order blocks towards the top. Umar, since the beginning of, I thought it was the beginning of 2020, but I looked the other day and the first futures trade I took was in February 2021. So we're up 192 today. Yes, it does kind of suck that, oh, look at that. Look at that reaction off this order block. Damn, South Africa. I appreciate that. It does suck that we were trading minis last week, but this is going to be a good thing to just do the same amount every single time. So now our trade tomorrow, or my next trade, will not be more than what we just made today. And yeah, you can achieve that with like a better RR than a 1-to-1, but that's not guaranteed, because even if you have a better risk to reward, there's a chance that the markets are going to be more volatile tomorrow, and then you're set up. Maybe how am I trying to say this? Maybe you're doing 1-to-2s, so you make twice as much versus every loss. Tomorrow, if the market is moving that much more, you have a potential to get into a trade where your loss could be more than double what it was the day before. Yeah, if you get a win, that's going to be massive, but there's still a chance that you could lose more than the previous trade. By changing my contract size for every trade and making it the same dollar amount, no matter if the market's moving 10 points or 20 points or 40 points, I have more control over that amount, and I think that's what I need. I kind of like a short here too, but I'm not taking it. right at 50 of the move down. Fair value gap. Stop up there. Aim for the lows. Again, it would be 200 bucks. But I need to be I need to go back to like one trade a day, at least for a couple days. And I don't know what I'm going to do about my Apex funded. What's up, Knives? $100 a drawdown is tough with even one micro. It's only 50 points. We took one trade, did exactly what I said I was going to do. I think you're in the Discord. Yeah, we were talking. I did where it let Tradingview adjust my size, so we're on micros. I decided on the $200 number, so every trade risk or gain of $200. So put that into the position parameters and then let it create a limit order for me. So it put 4 micros on and we got out. So we're up 192, which that's what we should be up or down every day, around 200 bucks. Yes, it does. Let me show you guys again. So I have it set to $200. So it's only going to risk up to $200 based on my stop. So if we wanted to say short up here at 250, and let's say we're risking 25. So right here it says 25 points we're risking. If I right click and do create limit order, it wants me to use 5 micros. If we risk 50 points and right click and do create limit order, it drops us down to 2. And it tries to get around 200 bucks. To do that, get a position on here. You can double click it. You set your account size and then the risk percent. So to get 200. Oh, is that only for? Why is my default not in here? Anyways, I just put for 200. I put 2,000 for account size and then 10%, which 10% of 2,000 is 200. Again, shout out to Tyler Smith. Don't want to be like braggy, but that is something I have strived for, is constantly look at where I'm struggling and get a rule or something in place to prevent that from happening or protect me from, it's protecting me from myself, protecting me from something else. Get a rule and a plan in place, and then the struggle is implementing it. We did a little struggle on this because I said I'm aiming for 1-to-1s. That's typically when we enter at like a 50% of a move. So I longed this one. I was still short bias. However, we had like the OTE entry with this fair value gap down here. And a 1-to-1 was just like, it just threw it around 212. I did move it up to 220. However, we came up and got one tick before it, and I was set. I'm not dealing with the market doing that to me today, so I just exited at 14. So we got pretty close to that 1-to-1. However, an OTE with a long right here would definitely be aiming for closer to the highs. So risking 23 points on the actual setup and move for optimal trade entry would have been like getting 60, 65 points up here. Who knows if we're going there? Only Nasdaq knows. We did fill in this fair value gap, but what I don't like about this displacement over here is that there's no swings that we took out. Yeah, some of them, no, none of them really worked yet, except in the very, very beginning, this little tiny one. I mean, it worked if you took your profits, but if you were aiming for the lows, it didn't work out yet. I don't know. But I needed this to work out today. After Friday, that would have really been a struggle to take a red day today. If it was red and I followed all my rules, I know you're supposed to be okay with that, but that really sucks having multiple red days in a row, especially after breaking rules and taking impulsive trades. But I don't remember if I mentioned it on the stream or in the Discord channel, but doing the stream has definitely helped my patience and my self-control and discipline. Because every day we've been doing very well, taking just one or two trades, waiting for decent setups enough. However, as soon as I get off the stream, I keep trading and do something stupid. I keep getting rewarded for it, but then it catches up to me one day. Did you kill it in profit, Tyler? Yeah, I got you guys knives. Just let me make a little more money first, and then we can set up a manager commission fund. Your percentage will be based on how many helpful chats you sent. Gotcha. You were at 220-ish. That's tough, man. Oh, I forgot. When I got into my long, I forgot you were still on that short. I was just so focused on this. That's what... That sucks, man. Sorry. Got to be a little nerve-wracking when you're in a short and then you see me take a long and we kind of think alike. Yeah, I'm not doing that delta. Elite, Umar, I really like to just take one trade. Ideally, I want to take one trade because after my one trade, I start overanalyzing and then I historically go downhill. There are plenty of days where I keep going and I do good, but those days always catch up to me. Yeah, Elite, we took optimal trade entry right here. But again, was just aiming for my 1-to-1s today. In that trade, I said the exit would be at the highs if you were taking the actual OTE. And looks like that worked. We're back, boys. We're back. No, I had a, it was like a 20-point stop. I got in right there. I had at the lows, so 21 points. and got out at I ended up getting out at 214. 1-to-1 would have been at 212. I had my take profit at 220, but the market came up to one tick before that and had a little rejection, so I just exited at 214, but got my 1-to-1, so made 192 today with 4 micros. Again, the OTE would have been to hold to the highs at 65 points. Umar, I don't pay attention to any Bitcoin stuff. No, I didn't get 50 points. I got 24 points. Look, you see this? I bought 4 at 190. Yeah, 214, not 240. It keeps going behind. Oh, I see it. That's all like messed up. Goes behind those candles. I mean, I very well could have. I should have, but I'm really trying to focus on this discipline for this week, and then we can work on larger targets. I really want to do 1-to-1s for a few days and then get to taking half of my position off at the 1-to-1 area and then moving the other half to break even and letting the other one run. So like today I would have taken half off at where I did at the 1-to-1, move the other half to break even, and then move those extra 2 contracts to the highs, which would have been the better target. Exactly, Knives. All, like I've said it so many times, all I need and all you need and all anybody needs in trading is consistency. Get that with 1 micro or whatever. Just get consistency. If you are profitable with the consistency, even if it's $10 a week or whatever, $10 a day, if you're consistent, you can scale that up like infinitely. And I don't know why I kept freaking ignoring that. So if I can get consistent with every trade being $200, either a $200 loss or a $200 winner, if I'm profitable, nothing is stopping me from changing the $200 to $2,000 every trade, because I'm just changing the contract size. I don't even have to do like a runner or a move to break even. If I just keep doing these 1-to-1s and it's consistent, the only thing that determined how much money I made was that number, 4 contracts. Nothing stopping me from doing 4 minis or 14 minis or 30 minis and doing the same thing. I kind of, so to me, this is kind of my journal. I also do have a log of, I do use a Tradervue to upload my trades, but I don't journal, like write stuff down, because I hate writing. In the last like 2 months, I'm basically just break even. I need to look at the points though, because I think I'm profitable if I look at the points. I think I've won more points than I've lost, but the money is not there because we've scaled up over time. So in the beginning, we had, I don't know, 3 weeks of only like 1 or 2 red days, but I was only using like 2 or 3 micros. Then I jumped to minis and then had a couple red days. So obviously a mini red day is going to really wipe out any progress on micros. And that's where I've been struggling with is I scale up, have a red day. That red day happens to be the market moving more like on a news day, and I wasn't adjusting my size. So now I took a 40-point loss on a mini when I just was okay with taking 18-point wins on micros. That sucks. This way, I'm still focusing on the money, but I'm telling myself I'm only going to risk $200 on every trade, no matter how much the market is moving. This could have been a 100-point stop and a 100-point win, or a 10-point stop and a 10-point take profit. $200 no matter what. I'm just looking for setups that I believe will give me a profitable trade, and then I'm guaranteed to either lose 200 or make 200. And then, like I said, we will get to a point where that same exact goddamn thing is going to be $2,000. And I don't have to do anything else. I don't know why that's so hard for me to just do that. Well, Joseph, today was the first day of doing this, so let's give it a little bit of time and then scale up. But how making $200 a day is decent money for what we're doing. I sat here between 9:15 and 9:50, entered, and then got out 10 minutes later for $200. So in under 2 hours, or about 1 hour, right? Yeah, 1 hour, 45 minutes, $200. Same thing, Elite. I agree, Knives. I don't know if I'm gonna set a. Honestly, the way I am with goals, I can't say I'm gonna do this for 1 week or 2 week first. Like, I need to just go with how I feel. Because when I set a goal, if I were to say right now to myself, yes, I'm gonna scale up in 3 weeks. If week 2 I start having some bad days, like, I probably shouldn't scale up the next week, but I'm going to be putting that pressure on myself to do good so that I can scale up the next week. I'm going to just trade and just scale up when I feel comfortable. And I need to take it easy, like go from $200 a trade to maybe $225 and then $250. There's no rush. $200 a day. Anything, I mean, $200 a day is good. So anything over that is going to be even better. You can try that Delta. Yeah, we'll talk about it, Knives. I've tried things like scaling up, scaling down based on the day, but again, the market is going to be moving a different amount of points each day. So honestly, that's why I. Oh, okay, yeah. You can share money with Elite. He needs to. Who was I talking to? Delta. Oh, about scaling up and down. Like, So again, I think for me, at least for me personally, this is the best way for me to do it, because each day, okay, for instance, I don't know if I'm just I think I'm just repeating myself. I don't know if it's even making any sense right now. Okay, we have OTE, optimal trade entry, right here. Boom, you buy, risk, let's just say 20 points, and then we're targeting the highs, 68 points. Great trade. Risk to reward is 3 points. Tomorrow, the same exact setup can form, but tomorrow maybe the markets are moving way more, and maybe now your stop is 60 points, but you're targeting like 130 because the move was just that much more. If you're doing the same contracts that you did the day before, and then this day it doesn't work out because some trades just aren't going to work out because that's how it is, and that loses, that really sucks that you just gave back, even though you have a good risk to reward ratio. I'm almost thinking like you have to do this. Like you need to be able to have some control. I know we don't have control of the markets, but what we do as traders is try to eliminate as many variables as possible. And if you have a good risk to reward ratio, that's great. But if it's the same contract size every time, you could be, just because the size of the move, you could be risking more money, which can wipe out previous days. Am I making any sense? I feel like I'm, I don't know. This just makes sense to me, to make every trade the same exact amount of money. You give up the potential to make more on some trades, but what you're taking back is you're only risking a same dollar amount on every single trade. So you can never lose more some days versus other days. And like I've thought and tried about doing different contract size based on the move, but I wasn't thinking about it the same way. I did believe that this could be a higher, once I saw this trade and I was talking about it, I did think we could go up to these highs. I'm focusing on a 1-to-1 right now because the majority of my trades, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for displacement and then a retracement to 50% and then go back to that previous swing. Like this right here. I wouldn't have taken this because it didn't meet all my criteria. But we have, say, like this swing right here up to these swings right here. We have displacement, fair value gap. I'm waiting for the market to come back halfway, and then my thesis is most of the time it will at least go back to the high. So that's 50%. So since it's 50%, that's 1-to-1 because my stop would be at the lows and then my take profit would be at the highs. So 1-to-1. That's mainly what I'm targeting. Agreed, Tyler. On a trade like this, again, I can either just keep risking more as my account grows, so $200, $300, $400, or I can, once the market comes up here, okay, so this is a good example actually. So if we bought right here, we take profit up here with half of our contracts, and then we move the other half up to break even, I would have got stopped out. But looking for the other half to keep running, which does work out, but we would have got stopped out if we moved to break even. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. Yeah, that's I like obviously that can and does work, but for me, like I'm not ready to start doing like a runner or anything like that. But I struggle with changing the trade mid trade like that, because then I'm like, well, damn, I should have just taken the whole thing at the where I wanted. This is insane. I did not think that we were going to be doing that. I thought this was a fake out move. I thought we would at least go up here like this, come back up, and then straight down. I think Tyler thought the same thing. Yeah, I can't handle that either, Tyler. I'd rather just, if I take off some contracts, obviously I'm okay with wherever it's at. So I'd rather just take the whole thing. And I've tried doing like a trailing stop. As soon as I move a trailing stop, I moved it because I don't want to lose however much it's up right now. And I always end up just taking the trade right after I move. Like if I move my stop, I'm about to close my position because I can't risk it coming back anymore. So I need to just focus on setting a target, setting a stop on every trade, and it's either one of those gets hit or nothing, or we range in there for all day long. Right? Should have held that long. I'll be right back, guys. hell's going on here? That could be the case, Tyler, but it may be something that doesn't work out today. Like we could keep going lower, but maybe today is the manipulation, not just this, 2-hour trading session. That's kind of why I stopped. I like what you're doing, Tyler, with like and ICT says we should do that by like doing our week analysis and coming up with a thesis and what we want to see happen, but that messes with me in the moment. Cause like, I don't know, if I'm short biased because that's how I read the market leading up to that day, then I miss any long opportunities. And I know you're trying to catch much larger moves, so you need to keep obviously working on that and focusing on that, but it's hard to not miss the move that's actually happened when you already came into the day with a bias. Unless it's like, I don't know if that makes sense. But that's also the other thing about trading that we've mentioned is that everybody is going to do things a little bit differently because we need to figure out what works for us. So what works for me might not work for you guys. What works for you guys may not work for me. I was short biased all morning, but I still saw a long setup. I didn't expect this to happen off of it, but I at least thought I could get a 1-to-1 off of it. Okay. I was worried that it may make you miss something, so I was just sharing. I just want nothing like, I don't know if it sounded rude or anything, but I was just sharing my experience why I can't do that. Yeah, this is kind of wild. I thought though, I don't know if you remember me saying it, but this move down, that's why I didn't take any of those shorts, and I'm glad I thought about it over the weekend that I have not been requiring swings to be taken out, and we displaced lower on some of these time frames, but there's no swings that got taken out, and I didn't really trust those anymore. I've been getting burned, I think, because I've been focusing too much on the 30-second chart, where like we did have that happen, and that would have gave you some points, but obviously if your target was much further, it didn't work out. But like a 1-to-1 on that 30-second entry obviously worked. But higher time frames they're the ones that call the shots. Let's see what the hell we're doing here. Came right up into top of that breaker. So I mean, I guess we're trying to reach for that swing. Short Short bias, I mean, is still at play until this is violated up here. Just a matter of when now. You mentioned the midpoint of that weekly wick. I think as long as we don't trade up above, as long as we don't come up into this quadrant, I think we're still all right. Which we really shouldn't if we're short biased. Could be getting some sort of short setup in this range. And the daily still looks good too. It's just the morning was not the time. Who keeps clicking the heart thing? I keep seeing all these hearts floating. That's hilarious. I think every time you click that, I think the hearts is a $20 donation every time, so you might want to check your bank account. It's non-refundable, so I appreciate that. I know I'm trying to get away from the 30-second chart, but where were you short from, Delta? Where did you short? I think we need a channel in the Discord that's like just for positions. I know we don't have a ton of people in there, but it does already get a little confusing in like that main general one when if a couple people are having a conversation, someone else is having a different conversation. So we need to start, if you guys could help me start thinking about different channel ideas. I know some people game, so maybe a gaming one if you guys wanted. 304. What's that 304? Right? That's how I felt on the other day when we got ticked out, Delta. I would have been more okay with that loss if we weren't ticked by two ticks. If it just ran higher, I would have been okay with it, but yeah, I like that, Tyler. Honestly, like I love seeing people's analysis and stuff, but I do have to be careful myself because I really try to not be influenced by others' analysis. So for me personally, it would be cool if we had an analysis channel. That way, if I didn't want to read it, I'd not even tempted to accidentally see it. What Delta? What time frame? I just kind of want to see what you were looking at. Maybe give some advice. But I think we do need a channel for just like screenshots if you're either in a trade or you took a trade. Yeah, I don't really see anything here on the 1 minute that I would like. Like this new higher high that we made, we didn't displace down with like any gaps or anything. Obviously we can keep going lower, but nothing that's really saying anything. Okay, lower lows and lower highs. I know people obviously look for that stuff. I don't buy into the lower lows, higher highs by themselves. I want to see a higher high than a displacement down to indicate a short. I hear you. It's pretty hard. I mean, I was short biased all morning. I was looking for a short in here. And it's very hard to not be short biased now after this run up. Like, we should be going lower, right? But somebody wants it to go higher. Jesus, that's ugly when... So, 4 hour, this gap has been filled in. We really don't have any need to come up here, up into that range. And if we do, then buy side would be up at that high. It's funny that you said that, Tyler, as soon as I was pointing this out. Like, we have no need to go back up there. So, I mean, if we're going to turn around, we're in a prime area where we should. But it's a matter of getting a decent setup. I'm not taking any more, by the way. I'm just hanging out with you guys. Oh, and I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing on my Apex account. I might, like I said, I think I'm just going to leave that one alone today, give it a break. But what I'm going to have to do is I have to take 30-second setups like that. And that way I'm only risking it's only a 10-point risk, and just aim for like that low, I guess, on that account. That gives me the opportunity. That gives me 5 chances to get out of where I'm at. Dangerous game, Delta. Vlogs of what? Just my daily life? I'll do a vlog right now in my daily life. I do this stream, I get off, then I work on my laptop, then I take my dogs out when they're ready to go out in the afternoon, and then I usually game in the evenings. That's my day right there. I appreciate your interest. I just don't do anything exciting at the moment. I used to go hiking a lot and do adventurous stuff, but these last couple years, haven't done too much. Okay. That would be great. Something I do want to do once I'm making more money doing this is go whale watching, like out off of Cape Cod or potentially the other coast. That I really like whales, and I've never seen a whale in real life, except for like, Shamu at SeaWorld and stuff. But I want to see a bunch of them out in the wild. I think that'd be incredible. So if we do that, I'll record it. Well, Umar, maybe I'll need to add South Africa then to do that too. I hear you, Delta. That's how I feel about some other things, but I don't know. I love whales and I like animals. I don't think I could get sick of that. I'm going to be like one of those old people that have like a, like bird watchers. They have their book and they're checking off what bird they just spotted. I'll do that with whales or some other animals. Look at this. Should have taken it. I don't know if it's going to keep going though, Delta. So, I mean, if I would have taken that, that's what I would have been targeting. It's roughly 1-to-1. Just the high probability, especially if I need, like, if I was looking for a trade that I could have taken on my Apex funded, which I had to be very like precise with small losses. So I would need to just take that and try to build that account. That's what I'm going to be doing if and when I start trading that again. You were at 304, so we didn't really come too far off of that yet. I would think your stop would at least be at the high, right? I don't know where you got in at, but we'll just say there. So 21 points. So you haven't quite made it to a 1-to-1 yet. We could just be taking out liquidity beneath these lows before it keeps going higher. Who knows at this point? What's up, one stop? Oh, I hear you. I don't know if you're in our you're in the Discord, aren't you? No, maybe. Did you did you hear what I did to my so I had those. Gotcha. I mean, you can be in multiple Discord servers, but I'm assuming you haven't heard what I did on Friday. I mean, I'll tell you, I just didn't want to repeat it if I didn't have to, or if you already heard. Oh, so Friday, I don't know if you saw on Friday, but I had those 3 Apex accounts. One was funded, 2 were $60 away from passing, and I had them all linked, and we couldn't get the $60. That I just jumped into a trade assuming I can get 3 points no matter which direction this is about to go, because anybody can get 3 points. A monkey could click a button and get 3 points, and that didn't work. So we started backtracking and kind of got a little tilty off stream and ended up blowing both of those accounts, which kind of pissed me off, obviously. And we did damage to everything else we have. And now my performance account with Apex that was, I think, 12 or 1300 in profit on Friday, now I have $100 in drawdown left on it. So I'm leaving that one alone today. My TopStep was down as well. It was still in profit, just down from where it was. I was at like 4,500 Friday, and then I ended up going back to like 3,000. I traded last night on it, got it back to, I was about to sign into that actually right now. So that one's looking in better shape. So that one's back to 4,300. So we're at 4,300. I think I'm going to leave that one alone today as well. And then I also did some damage to my amp, but not too bad. I had a little more self-control on it. But the good news is we learned some more things about us, and we are implementing new risk management strategies that worked out today. So we're going to keep our heads up and implement this, and I think it's going to be a really good thing. I think this is what I've been missing and what I need. So see how it goes. I know you just got here. I did take one trade earlier. We longed down here on OTE. So bought right there. I was expecting the market to go up to these highs. Wasn't expecting this. But my current plan is to take 1-to-1s. So that's what I did. So up 190. That was 4 micros, up 192 on our AMP account. So pretty good day back considering Friday. Now the struggle is trying to build that PA account back up. $100 is not much to work with. I don't know what the hell this is doing right now. Yeah, 100 is going to be tough. With 1 micro, that means I've got 50 points to work with. But I'm gonna take these trades on the 30-second. You can typically find these fair value gaps in risking less than 10 points or around 10 points. So that gives me plenty of opportunities to just grind 10 to 12 points at a time. So I'll probably do that over on the, I don't want to do it today. I feel very good about our trade this morning. I'm not risking my emotions by trading anymore. Yeah, it's definitely hard to not go do it, but right, every day I want to keep trading, but I really want to be to the point where I just take one trade a day, one nice high quality setup and be done. I don't want to sit on the charts all day. The longer you sit on the charts, the longer you're tempting yourself. The more trades you take, the more risk you are putting on yourself. And that takes a toll. I want so bad to go trade that account and try to get it back, but there's no rush on it. I paid the lifetime fee. As long as I can preserve it, I can take a year to get it back to 1,500 in profit. There's no rush. Exactly. That's my thought. That's kind of where I've been struggling with holding a full-time job at a computer, because the temptation of just opening a chart on a new tab is there all day. Since I'm at a computer, I want to take a trade and get up and get out and go somewhere and get away from the screen. But I need the self-discipline to not do that anyways. There you go, Wayne, right? There's no rush. I've got it forever. If I do, if I take 12 points a day just once, if I average 20 bucks a day, Just need to slowly grind it back up. But the fact that they let me still trade minis even though I have $100 in drawdown, that's what gets people. PA stands for performance accounts. It's basically the funded through Apex. They just call it a PA or performance account. Panic attack. That's what it feels like right now with it being $100 away from blowing up. It's so tempting though to try to go find a entry and just get on a mini and get a couple hundred out of it, but I can't go 5 points in the opposite direction. That's not enough for Nasdaq. There's no way in hell I blow that. There's a chance I could get a couple $100 back real quick, but it's not worth it. I have $175 into that account right now with between the lifetime fee and the original evaluation. I'm not gonna throw that away on one trade. I'll just see what I can do. This definitely is going up or down. Kind of feels like we're just gonna consolidate here for a little while and chop people up. Once it's done chopping people up, we will get a move out. Yeah, it obviously it can be done. It's not worth the risk. I would rather try to practice good habits of picking good setups and just doing it with one micro. I haven't been holding very long anymore. I know I did when I was aiming for the London highs and lows, but I am prepared though to hold to my either stop or take profit, whatever the setup determines it is right now. But it's not going to be what I used to do like I did over the summer. Yeah, that's a good idea, Delta. True, one stop. So you weren't here for me talking about my new plan for risk, but I'm setting a dollar amount. So right now I'm picking $200 and I'm aiming for 1-to-1. So no matter what the setup is, if it's a 1-to-1 10-point stop or 10-point win, or if it's a 50-point stop, 50-point win, I'm targeting $200 on that trade. So I have Tradingvue set up so that it will automatically enter with the contract size to risk $200 no matter what the trade is. So that's going to force me to hold to my targets, because if I want that 200, I have to wait for it to hit the target. And if the setup means my target is 30 points away or 5 points away, that now I know it's going to be $200 no matter what. And I think that's going to help my psychology quite a bit. Now, instead of hoping that the market goes further or moves more today to make more, I'm just aiming for that $200, and it doesn't matter what size the setup is, I'm going to get that 200. Nope, not right now. I'm just going to aim for 1-to-1 and get stop or take profit. Once we have consistency with that, then to make more money, all I have to do is change it from change the contract size so that it's just more money. There's no need to try to get more points out of the market. I just need to pick setups where I can pick the right direction during that setup, which that's what a setup is for. You tried like moving to break even and stuff, or you tried what I was saying? I know Knives is all about this new risk management. I honestly think this is going to be a game changer for me. It takes away the uncertainty every day, and it takes away the oh yeah, I got you. It takes away the gambling side of trading, in my opinion, or at least part of it. If every day I take my setup with the same contracts, every day I'm making or losing a different amount of money. By doing it this way, changing the contract size so it's the same amount for every setup, I take that variable out of the equation, and I think that helps the mental side of it for me. There's no more, if one day I make 400 on my setup and the next day it's only 200, there's no more of, oh, I should hold longer to try to get 400 because I hit the target of the setup and it should be the same amount of money that I made the day before. All right, guys. This isn't do anything. I've been done trading anyways since before 10. I'm going to jump off of here and do some normal work, I guess. I don't want to, but I will. If you guys keep trading, good luck. If anyone is not in the Discord channel and you want to, we typically still talk about trading throughout the day there. So feel free to join that. And other than that, good luck. Follow your plans. Stick to your setups. Practice good discipline. You know, you guys know what to do. Just try to remind yourself in the moment. Other than that, talk to you guys later and see you in the morning.